Hello, welcome you Pisceans, welcome to your monthly horoscopes of 2013. But first of all, I want to, because some clients ask me, how do you pronounce Veerle? Well, you don't pronounce it like the French do. The French say Veerle, and people of Australia or England or the UK or America say Veerle, but it's Veerle. It's a typical Flemish name. And it's very common in here. So, but more important, let's talk about you. Let's talk about the Pisceans and let's talk about your month, your forecast of what is going to happen in general, of course, with the Pisceans during the month of May 2013. Well, there are two other eclipses going on, and especially the lunar eclipse, I think, is very important for the Pisceans. Now, there are two eclipses, a solar eclipse and a lunar eclipse, and the theme, I think, is also a theme of Caput Algo, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. But let's get started first of all with the solar eclipse. The solar eclipse is at the 10th of the month, so the first week will be a building up towards that solar eclipse, which is in Taurus at 19 degrees. So the sun and the moon will conjunct each other, together with two other planets, that is Mars and Mercury. So you could say there's an emphasis on, for Pisceans, the third house, which is the communication sector, the way of thinking. And when this is in Taurus, it means it's a slowing down of your thinking and it's a slowing down of your communication. Because Taurus is a sign that is fixed and that wants us to slow down, so that's good. It also means that that most Pisceans will have maybe the opportunity to do a new study or to read new books and having new insights, but on a very practical level, so not on the theoretical ninth house level, but something that is really easy to understand and is really easy to apply in your day-to-day life. On another level, it could have to do with brothers and sisters, so maybe there's a new start when it considers a sister or a brother. So that is a bit the theme for you. I think it's a nice solar eclipse because Taurus does sextile your sign, so I think this will be nice. Now, towards the end of the month, there are two important things going on. One thing is that, of course, there's the Pluto-Uranus square that is going to be exact around the 21st of May. I think when planets are exact, at exact degrees, it doesn't mean to say that all of a sudden something will happen. I think a lot of people already sense that when way before that exact position happens, but it is a good thing to look at, and for you it's happening in your 11th house and your 2nd house, this square, so this new transformational value system. I think for a lot of Pisceans, with Uranus in the 2nd house, there's maybe on one level happening something with the financial situation, so maybe with ups and downs. Or on another level, it could also have to do with your self-confidence, that there is a new form of self-confidence, and probably it has to do with all friends, because Pluto is in the 11th house of friends, or it has to do with new wishes that you have and on a long term. So if we have, a lot of people think that the 11th house is not such an important house, but I consider the 11th house a bit as the 9th house, which is if you're doing great stuff and good stuff, if you apply it well, the 11 and the 9th, it has a very good snowball effect on all the other houses. So when the wishes are good and when the aspirations and the long-term things that you want in your life, when they are real and when they are very intense and real and true, then it has a good effect on all the other houses. And I think that's also a theme during this month of May that will occur. You will transform through those, maybe through new friends. So it could also mean that you have just made a shift of old friends not being in your life anymore, and new ones come in. Maybe not many, but just a few platonic friends which are helping you to do the transformation on those new desires, new wishes you have, and you get value from that. You get this second house Uranus, and you feel liberated when it considers that second house. So that's very interesting. At the same time, or around the same time, so building up to the 25th of May, there is a very interesting lunar eclipse for you. It's a lunar eclipse in Sagittarius. It's in your 10th house. So it means that the moon will be in your 10th house in Sagittarius, opposing the sun in your 4th and squaring up to Neptune in the 1st house. What does it all mean? First of all, in traditional astrology, Pisces is ruled by Jupiter, and the moon in Sagittarius is also ruled by Jupiter. So I think it has a Jupiter flavor. And Sagittarius is about the truth, and it's also about not really taking into consideration what other people think of that. So when you mix that with the 10th house, which is for most people probably work, it could be a culmination around that time, that something you show, maybe in a project, or maybe a new job, or maybe not a new job, I think maybe something that you will do and that you put your emotions into it, that is very much about the truth. And because Neptune is involved here, so other people could see it as, you know, sometimes when we show the truth, it's sometimes a bit, towards other people, they feel a bit ashamed, or they feel naked. I think that's a bit the situation, that you could, maybe on an unconscious level, you don't want to expose things at your work, but I think you will. And I think it's a good thing if you just try to go with the flow. And moon in Sagittarius also demands of us to be adventurous, and to really, you know, to be adventurous and to do the things that we that opens our mind and that broadens the mind, and that goes way back to our day-to-day lives. So I think in the beginning of the month you will be more doing stuff with the practical mind, and then at the end of the month you will apply it in your work, I guess. And so why is there also a capital goal team? That is a bit, so that was a positive part and a really interesting part. Now there's just one challenge with all this, and for you it considers your way of thinking, because why is capital goal this star, you know, algol? I think algol, the word alcohol comes from algol, I think. This is a star that has to do with losing your mind. And I'm not saying you're going to lose your mind, it's just being aware of the fact that when it comes to your thinking process, don't let yourself lose in your thinking process. That's just the advice I think that can be very important for you Pisceans, because the solar eclipse in the beginning of the month happens at 19 degrees at your 3rd house. So all these planets are going to conjunct Caput-Algol at 25, 26 degrees. So they're all going to touch that fixed star, that star of, you know, losing your head a little bit. So don't try to stay as objective as you can with the new news that is coming in. So maybe you're gathering new news, and you know, like the journalist, because I think a 3rd house is really the journalist house, and don't let yourself drawn too much by it. I think that's just the only advice that is interesting here for Caput-Algol. And at the same time, when the lunar eclipse is going on at the 25th of May, Mars is on Caput-Algol at the same time. So watch your actions, and now that you're aware of it, just think about it. You know, if you think that, ooh, I'm a bit losing my mind here, well, just stop. And because these are quick transits, so it'll go away. But I think all in all a very interesting, a very fresh, especially with that lunar eclipse in Sagittarius, a very fresh month, the month of May, with new insights, building up very slowly, and then applying them in a very adventurous and a very confident and optimistic way to other people. So I wish you all the best, you Pisceans, and see you next month. Bye bye.